Welcome to the Mindelo channel, where we simplify complex ideas and help you grow with confidence. Today, in our third episode, we're diving into a struggle every English learner faces. Why do I forget words when I try to speak, even though I understand everything? And look, it's not your fault, and the solution is closer than you think.
That's absolutely right. It's such a common frustration. But today, we're going to, pull back the curtain a bit.
Yeah.
We'll look at the brain science, touch on the psychology behind why words sometimes just vanish, and most importantly, give you some really practical tools to fix this for good.
Yeah, that feeling of your brain just freezing when you need a word. It's incredibly common, right? That's really where we want to start. So walk us through it. What exactly happens in our brains, like step by step, when we try to speak English fluently, and where does it usually break down?
Okay, so think of it like a super fast, real-time assembly line. It happens in milliseconds. First, you have an idea, right? You think of something you want to say. Then, step 2, your brain goes hunting. It searches its database for the right word to express that idea.
The search function.
Exactly. Step 3, it actually builds the sentence structure, putting the words and grammar together.
Okay.
And finally, step 4, it sends all those instructions down to your mouth, your tongue, your vocal cords to actually produce the sound.
Wow. Okay. 4 steps in a flash. So where's the weak link? Where does it tend to hit a snag?
Well, the snags usually pop up for, I'd say, 3 main reasons. The first one is really fundamental. It's the difference between your passive and your active vocabulary.
I think I know what you mean. Like words you recognize versus words you can actually use.
Precisely. Imagine your brain has these 2 different shelves for words. One is this huge recognition shelf. It's packed, maybe thousands of words you understand when you read or listen.
Right.
But then there's this other, much smaller production shelf. This holds the words you can instantly grab and use in conversation. And here's the key thing. Just filling up that big recognition shelf by, say, reading a lot doesn't automatically stock the smaller active use shelf. They're related but distinct processes.
So it's like having a massive library where you know where all the books are, but only having a few favorite ones right by the door ready to grab and talk about.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. Then the second reason is cognitive overload.
Meaning just too much going on upstairs.
Exactly. When you're speaking a foreign language, your brain is juggling so much simultaneously. It's trying to translate from your native language, maybe.
Yeah?
It's thinking about grammar rules, and it's searching for that specific word all at once.
Wow, yeah.
It's like trying to juggle, 5 balls when you can usually only handle 3. Something's got to give, right? And often it's those less frequently used, less sticky words that get dropped.
That makes total sense. And the third reason?
The third one is anxiety, or even just a mild fear of making mistakes.
Oh, definitely felt that one.
Yeah, even low-level stress can act like a blocker. Your brain, in that moment, kind of prioritizes safety, avoiding embarrassment, maybe over optimal language recall. Access to your vocabulary just gets restricted.
So your own nerves can actually trip you up.
They really can. But, and this is crucial, the good news is that all of this, every single one of these issues, is completely fixable. It's not a permanent state.
Okay, that is a huge relief, knowing it's not just me and that there are ways around it. Now, you mentioned this brain as a library analogy earlier, which I love. Each word is a book. And we talked about passive learning, filling the shelves. But why isn't that enough? Why do we still struggle to find the right book on the shelf when we need it mid-conversation? This is where it gets really interesting, I think.
It really does. Because passive learning fills the library, absolutely. But it doesn't necessarily train the librarian your brain's retrieval mechanism to find the specific book you need quickly, especially under the pressure of a real conversation.
Ah, okay. So it's about the retrieval, not just the storage.
Exactly. The science behind effective recall talks about something called encoding strength.
Encoding strength?
Yeah.
Oh.
Basically, the more different ways you interact with and learn a word, the stronger that memory becomes. So if you only ever see a word written down, that's one type of encoding.
Right.
But if you also hear it and you practice saying it aloud and you write it in a sentence and you use it in a conversation, each interaction creates a stronger, more versatile memory trace. It's like carving a deeper, more accessible groove in your brain for that word.
So varied practice makes the memory stickier and easier to grab.
You got it. And related to that are retrieval cues.
Retrieval cues? Like triggers?
Sort of, yeah. Think about it. If you only ever learn a word using, say, a flashcard app, Your brain associates recalling that word with the visual cue of the flashcard.
Okay.
So when you're in a fast-paced conversation, that specific flashcard cue isn't there. Your brain might struggle to find the word because the familiar trigger is missing. You need multiple hooks or cues linked to that word.
Wow.
The sound, the context, the feeling, maybe an image.
So learning in context is key for providing those extra hooks later on.
Absolutely critical. And here's something that might surprise you about recall. That incredibly frustrating tip-of-the-tongue feeling.
Yes. Where you know the word, but it just won't come out.
But that exact feeling, it's actually not a sign of failure. It's often a sign your brain is working really hard to retrieve that word. It's close. It indicates that learning is happening, the connection is forming, even if it's not quite instantaneous yet. It's a normal part of the process for everyone, even native speakers.
Wow. Okay. That actually makes me feel a lot better about those moments. It's part of the workout, not a sign I'm failing.
Precisely. It's your brain stretching its recall muscles.
All right, so we've unpacked the problem, look at the brain science, the psychology. This is fascinating. But now, the million-dollar question. What does this all mean for someone listening right now who wants to improve? What are the practical, concrete steps they can start taking, like today?
Okay, let's get practical. There are 5, I think, really powerful techniques, all backed by language research that can genuinely move the needle.
Let's hear them.
Number 1, the 1-minute topic drill. This sounds simple, but it's super effective. Pick a really basic topic your day yesterday, your favorite food, a hobby, anything.
Okay.
Set a timer for 1 minute and just speak, nonstop. Don't worry about perfect grammar or finding the absolute perfect word. If you forget a word, here's the trick. Just describe it. Talk around it using other words you do know.
So forcing yourself to keep talking and find alternatives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It builds thinking speed in English and trains you to navigate those blocks rather than just freezing.
Smart. Okay, what's number 2?
Number 2 involves using spaced repetition systems. Apps like Anki or Quizlet are popular. Lots of learners use these for vocabulary.
Right, for memorizing lists.
Yeah, but here's the crucial addition. Don't just passively review the flashcards. When a word comes up for review, you must say it aloud. And not just the word itself, say it in a full, meaningful sentence.
Connecting it to active use immediately.
Yes. That action helps transfer the word from that passive recognition shelf we talked about into your active production shelf. It makes it usable.
Got it. Makes sense. Number 3.
Record yourself speaking. This one makes some people cringe initially.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But it's incredibly valuable. Just talk for, say, 2 minutes about anything at all. Then, and this is key, listen back. Not to criticize yourself harshly, but to notice things. You'll hear hesitation points, maybe pronunciation issues, but crucially, over time, you will also hear your progress. It's powerful motivation.
Okay, I can see how tracking progress like that would be really encouraging. What's next?
Number 4 is output journaling. Simple concept. Every day, maybe in the morning or evening, just write down 5 or 6 sentences in English about anything, what you did, what you're thinking, plans for tomorrow.
Just writing practice?
Well, yes, but here's the second part. The next day, before you write your new entry, read the previous day's sentences aloud.
Bridging the writing and speaking again.
Exactly. It connects the written form to the spoken form, reinforcing those active vocabulary pathways. It's low pressure, but very consistent practice.
I like that one. Easy to build into a routine. And number 5?
Number 5 is simulated conversations. Basically, talking when there's no one else there.
Talking to yourself.
Yep. Talk to yourself in the mirror, narrate what you're doing as you cook dinner, have imaginary conversations in the shower. Or you can use technology. There are AI language tools now like TalkPal or Elsa where you can actually practice conversational turn-taking. The goal is just consistent verbal output, making your mouth move and form English sentences regularly.
These all sound really actionable. And you also mentioned something about common word traps. What are those?
Yeah, these are specific types of words that learners often struggle to recall actively. One trap is words you've only memorized from a list, totally out of context. They don't have strong connections.
Right, no retrieval cues.
Exactly. Another trap is words with multiple meanings. Think of a word like run a race, run a company, run a program, colors run.
Oh, yeah, those are tricky.
They really are. Abstract terms can also be tough words like freedom, justice, potential. They're harder to visualize or connect to concrete things, and sometimes it's words for concepts that just don't exist quite the same way in your native language.
So how do we avoid falling into these traps?
The fix is generally the same.
Yeah.
Learn words in context. Don't just memorize justice as a single word. Learn it in real-life phrases like seek justice or fight for justice or a sense of justice.
So learn chunks, not just single words.
Precisely. Those phrases provide the context, the natural connections, the retrieval cues you need to actually use the word when you need it.
That makes so much sense. And I know for listeners who want a more structured way to implement all this, there's the 7-day Fluency Builder Plan available through Mindelo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of puts these techniques into a daily schedule.
That's right. It's designed to give you that structure if you find it helpful. It combines these drills, the 1-minute topics, the output journaling, spaced repetition reminders into a manageable weekly routine to really build that speaking habit and confidence.
Fantastic.
But really, the core message is this: forgetting words when you speak. It isn't a sign of weakness or that you're bad at English. It's simply a sign your brain needs more active training, not necessarily more passive study hours.
Right. It's about doing, not just knowing.
Exactly. You don't need to aim for perfection. You just need to practice speaking, ideally, every single day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Consistency is key.
That's such an empowering takeaway. It's about practice, not perfection.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Tell us in the comments, what English word do you always forget and how will you remember it now? If this helped you, like, subscribe, and share. New episodes every week right here on the Mindelo channel. Until next time, keep learning, keep speaking, and keep growing.